I was a law student, and I had to be on campus that day. I came out about, I believe it was just before the shooting started. Walked out of the east door heading east from the tower. There were two people that I saw in front of me walking, holding hands. I heard some shots, and they both went down pretty quickly. One of them, the woman, was shot, I believe, in either the shoulder or arm. It didn't look like she was hurt very bad. The man was shot in the lower back, and he was bleeding profusely. I didn't think he was going to live, and I thought at the time that if he lived, he would be an invalid. And I told my wife that I thought he was probably going to be an invalid. It turns out, I've discovered since, he managed, after a year of rehabilitation, he walked. So that was, I just discovered that in a book I read. I didn't know who they were. I tried to find out because I really just wanted to know that going out and pulling them to what was a safe place, I wanted, for some reason, it meant a lot to me if they were going to live or die. And I tried to find out. I called the health center either a week later or 2 weeks later, and I wasn't smart enough to call Brackenridge because that's where they ended up. But I called the health center, and they wouldn't give me any information. They told me they couldn't. And I also, I believe at the time, may have called the Texas Union or another office. But after that, when I couldn't find out, I never talked about it until recently, and I didn't do any searching, and I just tried to actually put it away in the back of my mind and not think about it. Although I have to say, recently with all the shootings, not just this week with the police, but the shootings all over, including the police shootings of Black lives that matter, I have crying fits. I actually get tears in my eyes and start crying. There's something wrong with our society. Seems to be going backwards. At the time of the shooting on the tower, these two people were holding hands. And I thought, because I had no background, nothing that would lead you to believe of mass killing, serial type killing of that nature, I thought it was a lover's quarrel. I thought someone behind me had shot them because I saw them holding hands. And I said I read this book. I've since found out that they were married only like 2 weeks prior to the shooting. We were on top of the computation center, which back then I think was called the computer center. And they were maybe 10 feet or 15 feet from the steps. And when you go down those steps, there's really a good wall facing the tower. If you stand behind that wall, you're well protected. Another thing that happened, I did something really stupid. When they were shot first, I ran from where they were shot across down those stairs and all the way. It wasn't called McCombs back then. It was just the business school. Ran to the business school, ran into the main administration office, yelled, "Call 911, someone's on the mall. Shot two people, they need an ambulance," and then I ran back. And I've always wondered, I was in the line of fire for 5 minutes at least running each way. And why I picked the business school, I don't know, because that was a building further down than, I guess because it had a big administration office. I don't know, but I ran down there, came back and hid behind the wall till a policeman came up and said, the shooter is on the other side of the tower, go out and pull those people in. There was another man or boy, I was 22, he's probably younger than I was, with me, and we ran out onto the mall, we pulled both of them, and then we took them around to the window that faces east from the computation center. I know we passed her through. I don't recall at all passing him or not. The only thing I recall about the man was how much blood there was on the mall from him. I think in hindsight, that tragedy affected me my whole life, my whole career. My outlook, both religion and in philosophy and what I wanted to accomplish in my life and make a difference. When I die, I want my wife and daughter, I only have one child, to think my being here had some meaning. And yes, I did go to Ohio, particularly got employed by the ACLU of Ohio to represent the parents of the 4 kids and all the kids that were wounded at Kent State by the National Guard. The case actually ultimately was won at the U.S. Supreme Court, and then the state settled. And I think the Whitman killing had something to do with my view that I wanted to do that.